Hey, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Ow! How's it going? I decided to make a finale of this particular live stream just because there's a lot that I want to do with a lot of these kind of conversations in the future. But in regards to YouTube, this is pretty much the end of the road for this particular topic. And hopefully, everyone has checked this type of topic out, and you've enjoyed it. For those that are new to this type of topic, just go to my playlist. Title is titled Think Like a Man. Hey, good evening, Michael. You can't wait for this one. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're here. Good to see you once again. So I'll actually try to reach out to you. Give me a second here. I'm just trying to do a few updates. But just to continue to talk about this title, I felt like this title was real important. Not that I'm gonna give too much of a backstory about myself, but I will say that given the thumbnail that a lot of y'all see, this really means a lot to me. Hey, good evening, delivery. Good evening. Good to see you once again. So let me do this. I'll kind of modify a few things. Need to modify a few things just because uh, I have to update basically everything in regards to just it depends on what titles I have. I might have a few trolls up in the building, trying to avoid the trolls. But hey, gotta have good people watch my back in the meantime when I'm not able to see everything, right? So, but yeah, I just re-added some moderators. I don't want to like add a lot of moderators, just people I know that are good for me. One second. All right, I'm back, y'all. So, without any further ado, let's get off into tonight's topic. So, not sure if I really had anything to brainstorm in regards to this topic, but we'll just all I will say before I do the brainstorming, if you will, is well, this title for those who might not know much about it, it was sort of a spin-off of just a lot of different topics out there about the wolf and even werewolves. And of course, I took it a step further about talking about the lycanthrope. Some people would try to say this goes back to maybe the days when I used to talk a lot about the Sigma personality. Before I realized that I was beyond this idea of being Sigma, but I was also beyond this idea of being Alpha. I started to realize that I was an enigma, but not that I label myself an enigma. This is more or less a description of myself. And so basically, how I maneuver out in this world, whether online or offline, that's just something that's very enigmatic. And for some people that um, see me as dear to them as much as I see them as dear to me, it can seem that I guess I also come off as charismatic too. Okay. But before I get into this, I'll just say that, uh, well, on the thumbnail, for those on the replay, and even those that are in the chat, even those that come into the clouds, and yes, make sure y'all hit that like button as you come into the spaceship, if you will, because this channel is more about astronauts nowadays. But before the astronaut, this channel had an avatar of the wolf. But it was like I said during those days when I realized I was beyond Sigma, I was beyond Alpha, and I started to realize that wolves themselves are enigmas. They don't have labels and they're not part of hierarchies. They don't have hierarchies like a lot of people think they do. But I also, with that said, realize that there are some people who are wolf like out there in the way they behave, in the way they come off, and they never really like to show it. I just got this thumbnail up. Well, you see the avatar I'm using for tonight on the screen. I just got this up so y'all can see, like, hey, Ray is definitely more wolf than dog. He's definitely more wolf than dog, and he sort of looks like one. He sort of looks like a wolf. I don't try to conduct myself in the way you would see with dog behavior. I'm very much like a wolf and have been this way my whole life. So, like, when you see the thumbnail of the actually, you saw the what's in the thumbnail? It was a wolf pup amongst little lambs. A wolf pup amongst the lambs. We don't talk about this enough. And the lambs were in the night, full moon, and the little pup still gave off a little howl. And of course, amongst Christianity, they talk about the lamb a lot. Like even in scripture it says, "Behold the Lamb of God that came for the sins of the world," or something like that. I don't know. I have to remember that aspect of the scripture. Uh, but we talk a lot about the lambs, and they say a lot of bad things about the wolves. But I don't believe it's that dry cut when people want to just villainize the wolf like that. When in reality, a wolf does a lot to clean up the ecosystem. It gets rid of all of the weak and the sick animals that would plague our environments. And for the most part, wolves have a very shy behavior. They are very shy. They're not scavengers, they're true apex predators, but they behave in a way similar to prey as far as their shyness. They don't like to be so quick to be aggressive, which is why, like, let's say, for example, a wolf runs into a mountain lion. Well, guess what? The mountain lion would actually intimidate the wolf before the wolf would be able to intimidate the mountain lion. See? So, in that vein, that tells you the wolf is not quick to fight, but it is quick to defend itself if you get it roused up enough to where you try to put it in the corner, as they say. He gonna show you that he gonna show you what the definition of a wolf really means. So, with that said, think like a man. In regards to that, fellas, and for some ladies that want to think like a woman, you don't do much until you feel like you're backed into a corner, then you push everybody away from you. Because wolves really try to use this ultra aggression as a last resort. Oftentimes we're getting just a small footage of wolf behavior. We think that, oh, there's a lot of times where wolves show their fangs and they growl. That's a very small part of the day. Most of the times wolves just want to play and lay. Yeah, wolves just want to play and lay. They don't want to be trying to show their fangs all day every day like we see most of the time on a lot of videos and things like that. Yeah, that's right. We just chilling, Mike. You got that right, family. We just chilling tonight. Yeah. Hope y'all got y'all popcorn, nachos, hot dogs, and soda for this one. This a laid back live stream. Not sure how long this one gonna be, but I'll continue to talk about the thumbnail. I chose that thumbnail in particular because I remember when I was a pup amongst a lot of the lambs that, I guess they grew up into the sheep that we see today. Uh, I was still a pup, like a wolf pup. They did not see me as a lamb or innocent lamb. I believe in many ways, though, the true lamb that come to deal with the sins of this world, as is written. The true lamb wears the wolf clothing, right? Not the how can I say this? A wolf in sheep's clothing? No, the sheep in wolf's clothing. That's what it's about. People try to vilify you, if you will. Hey, what's good, the underrated darkness? Good to see you once again. Glad to see you up in the building, family. Uh, we just don't understand that everything they say about the Bible has been perverted. It has been reversed. It's not what you think it is. So basically the sheep are the wolves and the wolves are the sheep. And I just say that in regards to behavior. I say that in regards to mannerisms. You look at the behavior of a lot of sheep. What does the problem of New Zealand and Australia have? You know, they actually have lost a lot of their natural population of animals due to the sheep that they brought over in those parts. Actually, no, it's not Australia, it's New Zealand. Yeah, in New Zealand or Tasmania. They brought a lot of sheep over there and they pretty much rid the countryside of natural vegetation because they brought so many sheep over there. And those sheep they're like natural lawnmowers. They will mow down the countryside in no time, right? What would happen if you brought a few wolves around to control the population? You wouldn't have that much of a sheep problem, would you? So, but that's the other thing. Now you bring wolves over to Tasmania or New Zealand. Australia, you don't really have to do that because they have dingoes. Dingoes, obviously, they're not wolves. They're part of the dog family. Yes, dogs and wolves are separate people. Now, they're all part of the canine family, but dogs and wolves are separate. Hey, I'm good though, underrated. I'm good. How about yourself? How about yourself? Yeah. So, that's the thing. Like, and then ironically, this is a side note, but foxes, they have a new or a different lineage for them too. I mean, you think of a fox, it doesn't have the same type of eyes as wolves. They have more cat-like eyes. If you looked at the pupils of a fox, their pupils are like cats. It's like when you see a fox, you're looking at a mixture of a cat and a dog. Like in the fox, pretty much outsmarts the cats. Cats really hate being around foxes, and you think cats are so narcissistic. Well, you get around an animal that can act just as narcissistic or just as witty as you ain't gonna want to be around it. And that's what cats do. Every time they see foxes, cats just like, oh no, I'm not gonna even deal with this fox. I already know what time it is. So uh the cat walks away from the fox. So my point is, like, they now got a new category for foxes. Like, people used to think foxes are part of the canine lineage. Actually, no. The foxes are part of what they call the vulpine lineage. So I'll type that in the chat so that y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all can look this stuff up. Don't take my word for it. I say that every time because you know I I try my best to just still speak with just what I know from the best of my ability, but I'm very humble in the way that I talk. I don't talk from a sense of arrogance. I just talk from basically the best of my knowledge. So I believe I spelt it right. It's vulpine. So you got canines, you got felines too. But vulpine, in my opinion, if you look at a fox, it's like a cat and a dog. So what? It's a feline and a canine together, vulpine. I'm not saying that's the right definition of why this word vulpine exists, but yes, foxes are part of the vulpine family. I kid you not. Uh, and see, Michael already knows. I appreciate that, family. Yeah. Uh, just grinding. Yeah, that's what's up, the underrated darkness. Like, that's the other thing, trying to tie more into the topic of think like a man. Uh, a lot of what masculinity is underrated, like true masculinity. So no pun intended, but yes, even with like your name, the underrated darkness, like to me, real masculinity is underrated. Like even with this idea of talk, even this idea of talking about like what the mentality of a wolf is really like is underrated. Like because they think it's this macho aggression. You know what I'm saying? This whole hierarchical way they think a wolf is, and it's nothing like that. Oh, okay, Mike. He got the another spelling for this word, vulpine, vulpini. See, hey, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate that, Mike. So they think this about wolves, and it's nothing like that in regards to the way they are. So I believe like a lot of masculinity is like this too. So like, uh, and so just even more tying in with what the underrated darkness is talking about, like with the way he been getting through this matrix like we all are, right? uh Wolves, wolves ain't dogs. Don't treat them like dogs. They don't live like dogs. They live out in the wilderness. Dogs live on the streets. They're living in nice environments, all caged up kennels. Some dogs even have houses bigger than some people have. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Some dogs get taken care of better than some people. Real talk. Wolves don't get taken care of like that. Wolves don't live like that. A wolf is lucky if it even finds a den. A wolf is even lucky if it finds a log for all of his pack, right? Wolves ain't about what they got. With a wolf, you ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? Like the mentality of a wolf is like, I ain't got it, but I know how to get it. So like with the underrated darkness said, just grinding. So wolves grind too. They ain't got it, but they know how to get it. And ladies, that's what y'all have to realize. The ladies that are more like hypergamous and gold digging, a lot of them don't realize like real masculinity ain't about what a man got. It's about a man that knows how to go get it. But think like a man. This wolf way of thinking is only for a select few type of men that are more like wolves and instead of like dogs. Meaning for him, what he has is not based on like basically what he got. Like he got a lot of money and all that stuff. Like he knows how to go get it. You know what I'm saying? That type of guy. That go getter, right? We hear this all the time. You know, some guys call it being a hustler, right? Well, you got to go get it. You talking about being a hustler? You got to go get it, man. You ain't got it. You got to go get it. And you got to be careful of what you got before somebody else tries to take it. Now, that person that tries to take it is a what? Scavenger. So I prefer more of the wolf way of getting things versus holding on to things. Like a dog holds on to all the bones that it gets, digs underneath the backyard, put all of his bones there. Wolf don't do that. Wolf don't have time to just collect every carcass and bones and put them in one place without a grizzly bear trying to take it from them. So what do wolves do? They go out and they go get it, right? And they go back and split it up with their family and eat good and be good for a few days. And then when they hungry, guess what? They go back out and get it again. And that's the mentality of someone that thinks like a man. Like, baby, I know how to go get it. And when we start to run low, I go out there and get some more. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, like, because I used to hear rappers talk about this too. They don't worry about losing because they always know they can go out they don't worry about losing it because they always get it, right? And I don't mean getting it as far as you just always having money fall in your lap. Like, no, they literally know how to go get it. You know, some guys that are like legal hustlers, if you will. I mean, I'm not just talking about guys that like do the other stuff, if you will, but like guys that really are trying to be legit, they still had a mindset of a hustler. Like I know how to go get it. And that's like the wolf mentality because a wolf ain't got it. A wolf has to go get it. When a wolf wants to eat, what? The wolf don't have food laying around. They have to go out and get it. So think like a man. And I always knew this as a young age. And I'm from what? St. Louis, STL. What's also STL? Like hustle. Hustle in the middle of hustle, you spell it. In the middle of it is STL, HUSTLE. You get it? So yes, St. Louis, one of the homes of the hustle. Not taken away from other people and other places where you feel the hustle is where you're from. But I know from St. Louis, the hustle is there because it's in the name, it's in the word. So you got to kind of know how to be like a wolf out here, right? So think like a man. Don't ever let a gal put you down for what you don't have when you know how to go get it, and only be around a gal that respects the fact that not only you know how to get it, but the fact that you are a go getter. Be around a gal like that. Don't be around a gal that's all about what you got and you got it. No, I know how to go get it. It's a difference. You know, the guy that got it don't mean that he necessarily went to go get it. You understand? The guy that got it, that doesn't mean he got it because he went to go get it. Somebody gave it to him. That's how he got it. You got it? Yeah. So that part, that part, but sort of talking about the thumbnail one more time before I continue on with this live stream. Uh, one second, y'all. Well, yeah, when I was younger, I was always seen as like the different of the litter. Yes, the different of the litter. That's literally how I was described by my family. You know, not to give too much of my background, but I was considered the different of the family. Like I was told this. What can you do when you're actually told this growing up? What can you do when you're actually from where you're from? And most people say that you're not like them. You're not like the people from your hometown. What do you do about that? Okay, that makes you feel like a wolf amongst dogs. that makes you feel like a black sheep amongst the white sheep, amongst the sheep, right? That's how I felt. So really, I felt from a young age this whole loner wolf, lone wolf, however way you want to put it, but not saying sigma male. Because yes, lone wolf and sigma male are not the same. I'll keep saying that here, and I'll say it again. Lone wolf and sigma male are not the same. I was definitely more of a lone wolf, actually a lone wolf, not a sigma male. But I feel that in that being said, like, um, I always knew I was different. Like from a young age. And so you learn how to think like a man did. You learn how to think like a man then, what I'm saying? Think like a wolf, like a man. So Lyca, as some of y'all don't know, like one of the taxiderm words for a wolf is Canis lupus lichen, if you will. So lichen literally means wolf in I believe the Spanish terminology. So yes, Canis lupus lichen. So that's one of the words for wolf is a Lyca, lichen. And so you look at a lot of werewolf type of movies. They would have werewolves and lichens. Uh, all that ties in with the wolf man, right? So I was definitely more wolf, not vampire. So I've never been a narcissist, you know, never been a narcissist. Werewolves and just being the wolf alone. Wolf is more tied to codependent. Vampire is tied more to narcissist. So I guess if you do see me as codependent, that's on you. But I see myself as more interdependent. So I'm gonna say it that way, right? But definitely not narcissist, because that's vampire. I'm more on the wolf side. So more on the dependence of interdependence, not necessarily codependent, like not to put that out there like that, because everybody tends to think nowadays they know a little bit of psychology or they went to school for psychology, so now everybody think they, can figure you out. And it's like, well, really the person that puts out who they are out there, from an honest standpoint, you can't figure the person out because they've already put the information out there. Like it's like Mike Tyson, right? Mike Tyson, everybody always wanted to know his peekaboo fighting style. And I know the underrated darkness, yeah, he knows all about boxing, so he'll know what I'm talking about. So like Mike Tyson always put out his peekaboo fighting style. Always. Everybody like, how you do it? And Mike Tyson would tell you, oh, see, it's something. It's listen. It's something about the way that I do the duck and the uppercut and the way he would come back and then boom, boom, boom. Mike Tyson would talk like that, and he would tell people like exactly how he fought. But no one figured out his fighting style. No one to this day has put a blueprint on his fighting style, let alone try to surpass him in his prime with the same fighting style. He would literally just say, "This is how I fight." Even back then during his prime, and you would think somebody would be like, "Let me figure out how to fight like him and beat him." No one could do that because it's part of who he is. It can't be duplicated unless you're growing up and you've been around the same individuals Mike Tyson been around, and even ran upon his boxing coach at the time, cuz if you will. So not talking crip, just saying his boxing coach, I believe, was named Cuz, first name, right? And people couldn't really duplicate who Mike Tyson was, just given even what he went through. But it's just this idea, okay, think like a man. I put this out here now. You get an idea of the way one might feel and think, and that certain individual can't be duplicated, can't be replicated, can't be even figured out. Like enigmatic, it goes back to that because this type of individual that thinks like a man, like Wolfman, like you've always been like the wolf amongst the dogs. You might still be seen as a pup, but you're not the same type of pup. You didn't grow up the same. You didn't feel the same. You know what I'm saying? You were more wild, wild at heart. You weren't like those that want to live a domesticated life. And fellas, you think like a man, you ain't gonna want a chick that's domesticated either. You're not gonna want a chick that just wants the best and the pillowed, if you will. Yes, living on the pillow type of life. You want her to be out there in the wilderness with you, going out there to get it with you, going to hunt with you. You know what I'm saying? She got her teeth out with you. Ugh, you know what I'm saying? You want that kind of chick. You don't want a chick that just be like, yo, go out there, you the big wolf. Go out there and get that for me. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and get that for me. Big Daddy Wolf. And bring it back to me while I lay at home, So that's the thing. Changed the little screen for y'all since I'm kind of getting more into this live stream a little bit more, just a warm up here, right? So you see now on the screen, Little Red Robin Hood walking with the wolf. And y'all know the story of the wolf and Little Red Robin Hood. I don't need to explain that. But see, ideally they would want Little Red Robin Hood to tame the wolf. That's all that is. So fellas, if you think like a man, don't get around a gal that's trying to tame you because she's ultimately trying to domesticate you. So a lot of the wolf mentality can even go to like guys that don't want to end up simping, like because ultimately she's training you. She got you not really just as a puppet on a string, but she sees you as her puppy. Good boy, good boy. That's it. Good boy. Come here. Sit. Trying to train you now, boy. That's what she's trying to do. Yeah. How does she do this? How can you tell this when she's talking to you? When she demands that you call her a certain time or don't call her a certain time, that you do this and that for you, that you do this and that for her, and she expects you to do that, she's training you. Okay. A real woman ain't trying to do that. A typical female is trying to command you, trying to get you to do certain things. And you eventually what? Become obedient. Hmm? You become obedient. You probably like I guess, the relationship you have with Little Red Robin Hood. And maybe you'll do whatever you can to keep it, but it's taken away from who you are as a wolf. You see how big this wolf is walking with Little Red Robin Hood? How did this wolf not become hungry of this little thing that has him by the chain, by the by the by the wolf collar, by the dog collar? No, wolves don't have no collars. Now they do have tracking collars they put on wolves. That's a different story. We're not going to even talk about that aspect that I could bring up in regards to think like a man. The tracking collar, how people try to have a tracking collar on you. They can't put a dog collar on you, but they have a tracking collar on you. That's for another conversation. But I shall say this. Yes, think like a man. Don't get around the Little Red Robin Hood because she's trying to tame you. She's trying to make you to be, I guess, more dog like, even though you've always been a wolf. Okay. Like I said, you want to get around a gal that out there with you. Imagine there's two wolves next to each other. I didn't get a chance to post this picture up. But yeah, two wolves walking with each other. That's what you want. It just looks better, doesn't it? More aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, you want think like a man. You want a girl that thinks like a woman. Like a she wolf. You want a she wolf, a girl that's wanting to be a wolf with you, right? You want a girl that wants to be wolf with you, not be dog with you, not be doggy with you. No doggy style, right? But not gonna get sexual from that standpoint. But yeah, just saying. There's a lot to say about this. Like, I just think also I had to get used to really accepting the night, literally accepting the night, like the fullness of the moon and the stars, just seeing how that is part of my life. Like, what I mean by this is you have early birds, but then you also have early risers. Early risers are more like wolves. What I mean by this is a wolf ain't necessarily up early. It just happened to already be up at those early hours before everybody else gets up early. But by the time everybody gets up, the wolf is going to sleep for the day, or at least for most of the morning. See, the wolf is an early riser versus an early bird. Okay. See, it ain't about getting the first worm with the wolf. It ain't about getting the first worm. Yeah, the wolf is just thinking about his day at that time that everybody else is out there trying to get the first worm. Okay. And whatever comes around the wolf's way at that time, that's fine. So basically, I'm not just metaphorically speaking. This is literally how it happens. It happens to some tigers too, but I'm not talking about tigers. tonight, even though I have talked about tigers at this channel before. But a lot of times it'll be a certain situation where a wolf, or you can even say a tiger, it might be sleeping during the time of the day when all the animals are just starting to get up early. The wolf has already been up earlier and then it went to sleep while everybody else just starting to get up early. But if something comes around this way that early, the wolf will sense it, wake up, eat it. Just like tigers do. Same thing, right? So sometimes when you are just trying to do things before everybody else, you'll get a better result. Sometimes you have to be out on the road at night um, while everybody else is sleeping. Sometimes you got to be grinding while everybody else is sleeping, okay? Because it's just at this time uh, where your mind is pure and you don't have a lot of distractions. You don't have to worry about everybody calling you on the phone. As a matter of fact, you should be up at the times where you know everybody else is asleep. Okay. So by the time people try to call you on the phone, you too tired to wake up and answer it. Now, speaking of such, let's get off into this. Let me change the screen one more time. Okay. Let me do this here. Yeah, so don't know if y'all can see this really well on the screen, but the wolf on top of the house and in the house is three pigs. So I just gave y'all two urban legends so far in this live stream. You just heard me talk about Little Red Robin Hood. Now I'm about to talk to y'all about the three little pigs and the big bad wolf. Because actually, before I decided I was going to make this live stream and make a finale of Think Like a Man, and actually, I guess just make this a live stream basically, Think Like a Man finale. I was actually going to make my finale video or just another video, and it was going to be titled Think Like a Man, Big Bad Wolf. So this goes back to sort of what I've said before about wolves being vilified. And I've talked about this before in a lot of my videos. One second. Yeah, I've talked about this before in a lot of my videos that I've done in regards to Think Like a Man, about how wolves are vilified, persecuted. And it's like even how great white sharks are treated. Great white sharks, they don't even be trying to go after nobody, right? Oftentimes they might have misunderstood their targets. If you're looking more like a seal, guess what? The great white shark is going to think that you're a seal. Okay, well, wolves don't even do that with people. A lot of times people just be trying to provoke wolves. I guess in that sense, you could say people are provoking sharks by what? Trying to look like a seal, or if you splashing blood in the water on purpose. I'm not talking about by accident. If you're bleeding in the water, get the heck out the water. You know that's going to attract sharks. Okay. And I know sometimes it might be certain situations, and my condolences, you might be in a situation in the water to where it's very difficult for you to get out of the water in time while you're running blood in the water, right? But then the sharks show up and you're either going to survive that situation or you're not, which is why I just never been a big fan of going out into the ocean. Hey, I've always wanted to go out into the jet skis, ride a jet ski on the open water. That sounds great. I mean, I still would love to be out there on a boat, you know, but I want to make sure I'm riding on calm waters where the boat won't capsize, because you got to see if the sharks normally be in that water like bull sharks. If it ain't in the open waters with the salt waters and the fresh waters, you still got to deal with sharks too, bull sharks, right? So it's like, dang. But that's a side note. My whole point is getting back to just being provoked. Like a lot of this evil persecution, a lot of people want to think, well, with wolves, as I just said, with sharks, they want to be like, oh, these are mean and evil animals. No, you provoke them. You provoke them. And some people torture these animals too. For what reason, I don't know. It's stupid. But in real life, a certain person that thinks like a man, like a wolf, if you will, you get vilified too. You get victimized, if you will. You get persecuted because you come off more gray instead of black or white. You keep to yourself. You stand on your principles probably better than everybody else because it's really a part of you. It's not just something that you hold on to. It's a part of you. So a lot of people can't shake you like that. They can't move you like that, like they would be able to do with other people, like they would be able to do in regards to manipulating other people. They can't manipulate you that easily. Like with wolves, even the pups, the wolf pups, they're not going to be like dog puppies coming up to you wagging their tail. Wolf puppies don't do that. They actually are shy. Wolf puppies are standoffish from a young age. Wolves are like this, unlike dog puppies. You know, little dog puppy gonna come at you wagging his tail, ready to lick you and everything. Oh, so cute. Doo, doo, doo. You know, baby wolves, wolf pups don't do that. They're shy, just like their parents. They it's like already in them to be like that. Like they're not gonna, I don't know about that. We're gonna see about that. And even if they kind of grow to get closer to you, they're still gonna have a little skepticism, a little bit of shyness about them. Like they're not quite sure. They want to be close to you, but they want to make sure you're not trying to harm them. You're not trying to hurt them, because if they have to, show their fangs, they prepare to do so, right? So that's what it's like with wolves. And certain people are like that too. Like I know for myself, I'm more, I won't say I'm not too standoffish, but like I don't let people get that close right away because people all the time play games. People aren't who they say they are, male or female alike, male and female alike, if you will. They aren't who they say they are. So you got to like, can't be so quick to open up to people. You got to see where people are and where they stand. And if they can stand the rain, then hey, they could walk with you in the rain, right? Because tell them, my life is out here in the rain. It ain't always sunshine. So if you thinking it's gonna be one day a nice day, I can't tell you when that day is gonna come, but I'm able to make it through this rain and make the most of it. You cool with that? We could talk. If not, I guess go find greener grass on the other side. Go find those better tropical days out there, right? In other environments around other people, because this is how a wolf lives. Wolf lives in the gray. The skies are not always sunny, and it lives a lot of its life in the dark. Okay, so yeah, so there's a lot to say about this. Yeah, it enjoys the daytime too, but it's mostly sleeping during the daytime. A lot of the life of the wolf is in the darkness. A lot of one that thinks like a man is in the darkness. You do experience some brightness from time to time in this life, but you're going to be sleeping during some of them bright days, like in the summertime. Y'all know how like during the summertime it gets so hot. Instead of going outside and I guess you're trying to go to a swimming pool, I know for me, sometimes when it gets too hot outside, I'd rather just be inside and sleep because it's just too hot out there, man. So yeah, some people like, I'm gonna make the most of this hot, very hot, sunny day. Nah, if you're a wolf, you like, nah, I like those kind of more cooler days. The sun can be out for here and there, but I prefer the cooler days, the more mild and mellow, neutral days. So um, you got to make sure like that's who you're around. So I say this to say, to get back to this picture that y'all see with the wolf on top of the rooftop of the three pigs. Well, the wolf, obviously in I think the folklore of the three pigs, I don't know. I think they had a house that was strong enough for the wolf not to blow down. People think that the wolf is always showing up to blow their house down, when really it's the other way around. It's all these pigs out there. And I'm not talking about cops. I'm just talking about, I guess these pigs are more rats. Some people say that pigs are actually a mixture of cat, rat, and dog. For those people that don't want to eat pork, yeah, they be saying that, they be like, yo, pigs are a mixture of cat, rat, and dog, right? I'm just saying, y'all let me know, okay, in the comment section below. But um, hey, these people, these pigs, they get scared when the wolf shows up, even though you was ratting the whole time. Yeah, you was being like a pig, you was eating messy, being messy, right? Wolf shows up, you running in that house. because you wondering if that wolf's gonna blow the house down, and you hope that house is strong enough for the wolf not to blow down. Even though they've tried to set traps for the wolf out there, wolf found the way to outsmart the traps or to break free from the traps. Came back looking for them pigs that try to put him in a trap, right? Got to watch out for people out here trying to set you up all the time, right? And I'm just talking about in life. I'm not talking about if you're just doing a lot of dirty and illegal stuff. No, not really necessarily talking about that. Okay. But I am just talking about in life how, wolves have to deal more with traps. Dogs ain't got to deal with no trap. Dogs living in the city, dogs living in a doghouse. If anything, dogs just hope not to ever get to the humane shelter, humane society. It's funny how they call it humane society, but it's for animals. Human, animal, get it? But wolves don't get sent to no humane society. They just get put in traps. Maybe they get hunted down. There's no euthanization like you would see with the dog. It's funny how they call it euthanization with the dog. You're still just basically killing the dog. You're just killing it differently. You're just killing it in a different place. With a wolf, they just say they're hunting the wolf. There's no technically there's no euthanizing the wolf. No, we're gonna hunt the wolf and we're gonna exterminate the wolf. There's too many of them on our land. Let's exterminate the wolves. Right? That's how they usually talk about wolves. And so I believe that actually with guys that think like a man, people are out there really trying to exterminate this type of guy. I believe it. Okay. But when they can exterminate this type of guy, they be like these pigs that y'all see on the screen here, hiding in that house, hoping that big bad wolf don't come blowing their house down. Okay. But I say, for the most part, think like a man. Don't worry about the pigs. Just avoid their traps. Let them hide in st- their houses made of straws and sticks and bricks. Other things gonna knock their house down. You ain't gotta blow it down. You ain't gotta blow it down, right? So let me switch out from that. Just get back to my previous screen. Kind of want to do a full circle on this, okay? So for those who didn't see some of my screenshots, some of my avatars I used earlier, just press replay. But we'll go back to the beginning of what I did look like, and then maybe go back to something even more previous than this avatar you see now. But to round it up, y'all, I just want to say in these times, even going forward, it's very important that if you feel more like a wolf instead of like a dog, and I'm not talking about in regards to you feeling like an alpha or a sigma. No, I'm just saying, like, really, this is you. You don't feel like a dog. You've always felt more like wolf, like in the way you have lived your life, right? The way you kind of behave, because you're not quick to take orders, right? To sit down and to, you know, stand up or to wag your tail, or you're not quick to what take orders. Not, you don't like being provoked. See, a dog for a long time will deal with someone beating it until it gets mad enough and I guess tries to fight back. Wolves don't put up with that. You're not going to yell at a wolf. You're not going to try to beat a wolf. You got to remember a wolf has a biting pressure of 1,500 pounds per square inch. That's double the biting force of the strongest force of dogs, right? The strongest biting force of any dog out there is based on a dog breed called a Kango. And they have recorded that dog having a biting force of 745 pounds per square inch. A wolf has double that biting force at about 14 to 1,500 pounds per square inch. So, yes, wolves have stronger biting forces than even lions. Okay. So, I'm just saying, you want to deal with that from a wolf, that's on you. I'd say leave the wolf alone. Don't treat it like a dog. And I'd say, as far as the way a man might behave, that's more wolf-like than dog-like. Well, he's gonna be smart because he don't want to get caught up in the what trap. So the trap of, but a certain guy is gonna be like, hey, I don't want to have to defend myself. Just stay away from me. And he'll be a certain way to where he'll let you know it's a good idea that you stay away from him. And that's just in general, even socially speaking, like, because he's not going to comply. He's not going to, bow down to people's demands and commands, what they recommend. He's not going to do that. He like, I don't live like that. I don't live like you guys that live all comforted and pampered and pillowed up. I live out in this wilderness, but I know the promised land is before me. The promised land I'm probably already living in. The wilderness is just part of it. No one thinks about that, right? So that's also part of thinking like a man. That's also part of thinking like a man. Okay. And you learn this from a young age. I believe a lot of people who are more wolf like this, it's not that you were conditioned to think this way. You grew up amongst people a certain way and you just got through it. It didn't bother you like it would bother most people. See, no one wants to talk about that. Everybody wants to talk about how, like let's say you lived a very atrocious life. Like life was just hard, right? And then people will be like, well, that made you like that. Like, no. What if that life was hard, but I was made a certain way to where I could get through that? Like I was built different, right? I'm built different, right? Like I was built to get through it. It didn't phase me like it phases other people. Okay. So that's what made me different, right? But I want y'all to think about that and hopefully this live stream made sense to some. Maybe this live stream did not make sense to others. But to the others that this live stream made sense to, make sure that you hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. And I would also like to say it's time to raise up some more wolf pups in this time. Got these children too comfortable. They don't know what it's like to go through things. Yes, they don't know what it's like to go through things, to really suffer. Not just to struggle, but to suffer. Like children don't really know in the Western world. Now, you got children from other parts of the world. You might say, well, you're talking about like third world country. No, actually, those children didn't deserve to go through what they're going through. They were born into that life. They didn't have to, they shouldn't have had to live the type of life they live. See, that's a problem that's on a global spectrum. Okay. But I'm saying in the Western world, children here a lot of times don't really know what it's like to suffer or struggle. And you shouldn't have to necessarily, I guess, learn from the example of even children that have had disabilities just to even understand what it means to struggle or suffer. You know, that's unfortunate that we would stoop that low. Like a lot of, if y'all notice, and this is no pun intended, but we oftentimes stoop so low to where we even look at examples of individuals who, I guess, quote unquote, have disabilities. And yet, that same person that we claim has a disability is looking back at y'all like, no, quit calling me disabled. I don't want to be seen as disabled. I can make it too. I can get through this too. So, yeah, a lot of the children here don't really know what it's like to be out in the wilderness. They've gotten too comfortable with the video games and with the internet, with everything, with just even having a car, going to a certain school, having certain kinds of clothing, having certain types of food. Nobody knows how to hunt no more. Nobody knows how to build homes no more. Everything's handed to us. So these children are growing up like that. Makes you wonder what the next generation of children are going to be like. Will they even be born the same way they're born now, out of a woman? We don't know this. Like, so we're getting away from what it means to really be natural, to really be of the land, to truly be wild. We're really getting away from that. But yeah, if you like this channel, make sure that you hit that like button. If this is your first time coming to this channel and you like my content, make sure that you subscribe as well. Share this live stream as well as my other content, go into the archives. Yes, go into my archives. I have different playlists that I've done. Definitely more in store. Make sure that you also hit that notification bell so that you get my uploads, live streams, and short clips in real time, as well as you'll get my posts on my community tab, which I try not to post all the time, okay? I know everybody subscribed to other channels, and I don't want to blow up your phone with multiple notifications, which is why I don't go live as often, but I do try to be a little more consistent to the best of my ability. I just don't want people to get used to me. I don't want people to get bored of me, okay? Offline or online. I want y'all to continue to see how enigmatic that I am, and not that I even try to be. Um, I'm just me. And I also like to say I'm him, though I'm not him, okay? The creator. But I'm just who I am. And I had to think like a man in order to make it this far, and even where I'm going next in life. And for those who have a similar way in the way they go about, I wish you nothing but the best as well. I keep you in my prayers. But even people who don't feel like they're like a wolf, if you will, but there's something you can get out of this, and even what you've observed from the nature of wolves. Much blessings to you for even taking out the time to check out all those things, as well as checking out my channel. So much love to everybody. I'll catch y'all on the next one. It's only going to get better from here, no matter what it looks like out there, especially when you ow, continue to think like a man. And for the gals, y'all got to continue to think like a woman. There's not enough gals out there that are wild. Too many girls are feral. Too many gals are strays. She belongs to the streets. Too many of that. Not too many gals that are like really of the wilderness. Even the gals that are domesticated, tamed. Hey, that's something to say too. Okay. Like that goes back to the octane talks with a lot of the feminine. A lot of them are just becoming too tame or too domesticated, but then you have some that are just too feral and too stray, but they were never wild. When you wild, it's in you. The vibrations are in you. Okay. You know how to be, just as you know how nature is. You are too, ladies. Let's get back to being natural, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a million for stopping by.